friends, I am Krishna Kanjani from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. Welcome to the online lecture series on kinematics and theory of motion. In today's session, we will study our chapter number 6, that is friction, clutch and brake. In our previous session, we have learned about various types of brakes, where we have learned the single shoe brake. In this session, we will learn the second type of brake, which is known as a simple band brake. Okay, so let's start this session with a simple band brake introduction. So now you can observe this diagram. So over here in this type of brake, we are using one lever, and by applying force on this lever in this vertical direction, this external force will apply force on this band material, and due to external force on this band material, which will come in contact with this rotating wheel, and due to this contact between this band and this rotating wheel, there will be a frictional force generation, and due to this frictional force we can reduce the speed or we can stop this rotation of this body. Okay, now over here we have to identify the various components such as the various forces which are acting on this body. Okay, so the first we can understand this T1 force. Now over here you have to refer this fundamental that due to this object which is wounded around this rotating body, this object which is in a band shaped, or we can say a kind of rope material, it will produce a tensional force. Okay, now this tensional force, that is T1 and T2. Now this is the maximum force T1 tension, and this is the minimum force, that is T2 tension. Now we have to understand these T1 and T2 tensions very carefully. So over here let's consider the first case when this wheel is rotating in a clockwise direction. So now due to rotation of wheel in a clockwise direction, over here we have to refer that if you want to stop the motion, then you have to produce the opposite direction of force. Okay, so over here the opposite direction of force, that is T1, should be maximum. Okay, if you consider the direction of T2, then this T2 force, if you consider in this direction, so which will be in a similar direction of your rotation. Okay, so over here your T2 will be minimum and your T1 will be the maximum force. Okay, now let's consider the third fundamental, that is the theta, which is the angle between this contact surface. So over here you can refer that your object will be in a contact with this much angle, so this angle is known as a theta angle. Now the next component is mu, which is known as a coefficient of friction between the contact surface. Then we can consider this r, that is small r, radius of this drum which is rotating. Then T is known as the thickness of this band which is we are using as a band brake material. Now if we consider the thickness as a T, so the effective radius of this whole system will be the average of, or we can say the midpoint of this band and the radius. So we can simply identify that the effective radius is equal to radius of drum plus T by 2. Okay, now after learning this fundamental, we can simply understand, so we have to apply the rules of belt drive over here because it is a simple type of belt. Okay, so the first equation that will be used in case of band brakes, that is T1 by T2 is equal to e raised to mu theta. This equation we have derived in chapter of belt. Now second equation, that is the braking torque, which will be, or we can say the braking force which is applied on this brake. So over here we have to consider that T1 is the maximum and T2 is the minimum, so that's why we have to consider that T1 minus T2. Now the third equation, that is the braking torque, is equal to again force into radius. So force is equal to T1 minus T2 into your radius. If you consider as a regular object, then it is r, and if you consider the thickness of this band, so in that case you have to use this effective radius term. Okay, so your equation will be T1 minus T2 into effective radius r. Okay, now the next condition, that is the amount of moment which is produced about this O point. Okay, so the moment is produced due to mainly three forces. First force we can consider this P force. Now due to this P force which is acting in a upward direction, so it will be producing rotation, or we can say moment in a anti-clockwise direction. So that's why P into L, that is in a anti-clockwise direction. Now remaining two forces, that is T1 and T2. So over here this initial tension, that is T1, will be acting in a downward direction. So due to this maximum amount of T1, because if you consider this T2, then the direction of this T2 is passing from this fulcrum point O, so effect of T2 is neglected. So over here we have to consider this T1 force only. So T1 into the distance between this fulcrum point, that is v. Okay, so that's why your final equation for moment will be T into L is equal to T1 into B. Okay, so by referring this equation we can solve numericals of band break. Okay, so let's consider one of the numerical of simple band break. Okay, in this type of numerical, diagram will not be given. Okay, so be careful, you have to refer all the data carefully. Okay, so let's read out this data. So first it is given that a band breaks in which a 3/4 of the circumference of a drum. So over here this band break is in contact with the 3/4 of the circumference of a drum. Okay, so your first data, that is the theta angle, which is given as the 3/4 in a contact. Then the drum of 450 mm. Okay, so over here they have given the diameter of drum, that is 450 mm. So you can list out the first data, that is d is equal to 450 mm. So from that you can calculate the radius, that is equal to 225 mm. And if you consider this value in a meter, then we have to simply divide it by 1000. So your final amount of radius is equal to 0.225 meter. Now this brake drum, which is key to a shaft. Okay, so it is given that it is key to a shaft. Okay, now the band brake provides a braking torque of 225 Newton. Now over here they have given the braking torque 225 Newton. So the next data that is given, one end of this band is attached to a fulcrum pin. Okay, so one end will be connected to the fulcrum pin. You can refer this diagram. Okay, so in this diagram we can observe that with respect to this fulcrum pin, that is O point over here, you can refer that around this fulcrum pin, that is O point. Okay, now with respect to this O point, they have given that the lever and the other end of pin, that is 100 mm. Okay, so the first data they have given that it is 100 mm distance. Now this 100 mm distance is the distance between this second point of contact. Okay, so your band is connected with two different points. First point, that is at a fulcrum point, and the second point as a 100 mm from this fulcrum point. Okay, so you have obtained the distance B, that is your distance capital OB is equal to 100 mm, which is 0.1 meter. Now the second data, if the operating force is applied at 500 mm from the fulcrum. Okay, so your external force is applied at a distance L, and this distance L is given as a 500 mm. So we can consider it as a 0.5 meter. Now the coefficient of friction, that is given as 0.25. So next data, that is the mu is equal to 0.25. Now, so in this case we have to calculate the operating force when the drum is rotating in a clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. Okay, so let's first calculate this basic data. So from the first data, that is theta is given as 3/4 of the circumference. So we can consider theta is equal to 3/4 of the circumference. So that is equal to 3/4 of 360 degree. So we can calculate that theta is equal to 270 degree. Now you have to convert the theta into radius. So theta, so you have to multiply this 270 with pi by 180. So your final angle theta is equal to 4.713 radian. Now the second data you have to obtain, that is the value of T1 and T2. Okay, so to get this value we have a simple relation, T1 by T2 is equal to e raised to mu theta. So by simplifying this e raised to mu theta, over here we have to apply 2.3, that is log of T1 by T2 is equal to mu theta. So now putting the value of mu and theta that is given in our data, mu is given as 0.25 and theta we have obtained 4.713. So that will give us the value that is equal to 1.178, and by dividing this 2.3 over here, so you will get that log of T1 by T2 is equal to 0.5123. So you can simply identify that T1 by T2 is equal to anti-log of this value, and that will give you the relation between T1 and T2 is equal to 3.253. Okay, now the second condition they have given is the braking torque. By using this braking torque we can obtain the value of T1 and T2. Okay, so let's consider that data. So from equation number 1, that is relation between T1 and T2. Now the second equation that we have to derive from this braking torque. So we have a simple relation that braking torque is equal to T1 minus T2, that is the force which is acting between these T1 and T2 forces. So the net effective force which is applied due to the braking effect is T1 minus T2 multiplied by this radius. Okay, so now again over here they have given the value of torque, that is 225 Newton into meter. Okay, so by putting the value of TB we will get the relation, that is T1 minus T2 is equal to 1000 Newton. Now from using equation number 1 and equation number 2 we can derive the value of T1 and T2, that is equal to 1444 Newton and 344 Newton. Okay, so in this way we can derive the values of T1 and T2. Now let's consider that the first condition, that when the drum is rotating in a anti-clockwise direction. So over that, if you consider that this drum is rotating in a anti-clockwise direction, so in that case your maximum tension T1 should be applied in this on this side, and your T2 will be applied on the second side. So now over here the equation of moment, that is moment about this O point. So over here the component of T1 will be 0 and component of T2 will producing the moment in a clockwise direction. So your equation will become T2 into B, which is equal to the effect of this P force in a anti-clockwise direction. So over here you will get this relation, that is P into L is equal to T2 into B. Now putting the value of L, T2 and B, we can identify the value of this external force P, so that this operating force P will be equal to 88.8 Newton. Okay, now let's consider the second condition, that when this wheel is rotating in a clockwise direction. So in that condition we have to consider these forces in a opposite manner. So over here your T1 will be in a right hand side and your T2 will be in a left hand side. Okay, so just refer these two diagrams. The only change between these two diagrams is the value of T1. Okay, over here it is considered in a right side, while in a previous condition we have assumed it in a left hand side. So that will change the equation of moment. Okay, so from this condition if we consider the equation of moment, so now your equation of moment, that is P into L, which is moving in an anti-clockwise direction, and this T1 is moving in a clockwise direction, so that's why T1 into B. So by putting the value of L, T1 and B, again we will get the second net external force, that is P force, which is equal to 288.8 Newton. Okay, so in this way we can solve the numerical of simple band brakes. Okay, thank you.